Now serving your entree of sports and entertainment, the triple shot of Marcus returns. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fish and Grits for the culture. June 21st, 2018. How's it going for you players?
Stress,
Out of
son.
sight, out of
Stress,
mind. Feeling like you stress.
Say
son. Team is
That
about to be
man's.
on deck on this draft. I'm stressed, son.
Oh man,
I'm
I'm
feeling
feeling
it.
good, man. It's a great time for music,
You
dog.
ain't got no pick to the middle of the second round. So yeah, you ain't
Yo,
gonna be right
Oh
now,
yeah,
man.
I ain't worried about no draft, man.
it's just like the Texans first round. We had nothing.
We had nothing.
First
We just
two
sit at the
rounds.
house eating chips, watching Westworld.
He
Like,
teams
what
are
is this?
first round. It's like, nah, we'll wait until the second. Y'all good. Y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
Oh man, Gibbs dropping a surprise album tomorrow.
Oh, Gibbs coming with it. It's been a lot of music
Um,
coming out, man. A
man,
lot of music.
it's a great time.
You heard that J Rock?
Man, that J Rock is phenomenal. Man, that album is good.
That
Dog,
J-
I feel like a kid at Christmas, man.
Man, June has been good to us. I must say, June has been very,
Hey,
very.
Pusha. Then we had some Kanye. Then
Mm-hmm.
we backdoor and get some J Rock and get a little bit of trash Nas. Man, that Nas was trash, man. We gonna talk
Nas
about
was
that.
garbage. Nas was
And,
garbage.
and then we backdoor and get some Jay and Beyonce. Ooh, and we get hood Beyonce at that.
And braggadocious J as usual.
Yeah.
Did you say man?
It was
Yes,
just,
I did.
Oh wow,
it was a bragging album, man. It was just
it was good.
I got
It
more
was
money than
good.
y'all.
Hey man,
Exactly.
it's good.
Earth
I like it.
shattered.
I
Par
like
for
it.
the cool, and it really didn't do anything to extend the legacy at all. It was a troll album, and I guess if you're into that kind of thing
Yeah.
in the 21st, it worked for you. If not, nah.
It worked better than that Magna Carta did. I'll give you that.
Nah,
He was
and I'm with you 100%. But they was just bragging about how much money they got and that everybody else don't, calling everybody broke and shit. Like I get it, that's their persona. They king, they queen, what blah blah blah. But
uh,
I wouldn't 100%
the
do it.
whole album wasn't like that. The whole album wasn't like they had a few tracks where they like they had like friends where she was kind of referencing, being it was kind of the diss. Well, you could say it's a diss track because she was throwing shots at Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. I could pick up on that, but then it sounded like they just in love, man. And I just like I appreciate people coming together and making an album as a couple, like Janae and Big Sean did, or you have a whole bunch of country artists that love to do a good duo album. I
And
mean,
the thing with that, Janae and Big Sean felt more organic. This was planned out.
this,
They
but this
wanted
sound, but it still
Lemonade.
sound.
Ed J that album if he hadn't cheated on her.
That's not true
You feel me?
because
It's a
if you
trilogy, man. It's a
dog,
true trilogy.
if you want to be honest, dog, well, you could, yeah, it really is. I mean, Lemonade, and you had 444,
Four,
and yeah,
four,
you
four.
could give it a.
It's a cheating trilogy. Like cheating. I'm sorry. Group album. Come
Hey,
on, man.
that's a great trilogy, man. Lemonade was fire, then you had 444 was fire, and I like
Great,
this album.
it's a
I mean,
great strategy, but overall, as it pertains to what we like to embrace in the spirit of music, one of the things that separates commercial people from people like the J. Cole's and Kendricks of the world that
Hmm.
do it from the try to send a message, that shit comes across as fake, trife,
I didn't
and
catch that, and
it's hard.
I don't
It comes
agree.
across as a
I listen.
marketing ploy, and that's why I don't feel it. It
I
just
mean,
comes across as like you said, it's a trilogy. It's part of a great marketing campaign that sold a whole bunch of albums and made them a whole bunch of money. There's
And they
no art
going on
behind it.
tour.
That's the
And
problem
they
I
got
I
have.
mean,
and they got the tour to end it.
but what's the problem? I mean, I don't see the problem in that. It's like, hey, do what you want to do. I mean, everybody else is posting their business
I'm not saying
on
that there's a
Instagram.
problem with it. I'm not saying that there's a problem with it. I'm
Oh, I'm
just
not
telling you
talking
why
about
I
you. I'm
think
talking about in general.
it's but that's the thing. You're going to get that division from people that want to get it from an organic sense and feel like there's passion behind that music. And you're going to have people that are put off because they feel like it's just marketing and business. There's nothing wrong with it because at the end of the day, if we're keeping it a buck, everybody's in this shit to get paid, right? So, I mean, they're doing what they need to do to get to where they need to be, but
They are.
everybody's not going to appreciate it or look at it that way. And that's where the divide is going to come.
I don't know, man. I got a whole different take on this album. All I got to say is Jay Z at almost 50 is still better than the majority of rappers out there because he dropped some of his nicest verses on this album
No,
on
and
seven
I can agree with you 100%. Oh, 713. He
seven
went
one
off.
three, dog. I mean,
He went off.
just his the way he that dude Cadence, his rapping, he has the greatest rapper voice. If you want to him, Biggie, Tupac didn't have the greatest, and he kind of grew into his voice. But it's just like some of those rapper raws. It's just some of those rappers can be on any type of beat or any type of production and just kind of just they can sway with it. Cause look at Nas, man. Look how Nas struggled on this recent CD with trying to match the tempo of what Kanye West does with his beat selection. Because that's the thing that I didn't like about Nas album is because it didn't feel like him. But with this Jay and Beyonce album, I know you could call it a troll album, trilogy album, or whatever like that. That's a good title for the podcast, honestly. But I really love the
like I said, it's a great trilogy. Don't get me wrong, but it comes across like Will says more as marketing than organic music. And
well,
I hate the fact that they continue to throw this cheating scandal in our face with their music. Like, give me something else. That's all I'm saying
okay,
is give me something else. Give me something a little bit more. J. Cole
okay.
bring that out of us. Kendrick bring that out of us. I just want a little bit more than a troll album. That's all
I'm
I
a
want.
I'm gonna be honest with you. So I would call it planned if we knew this album was coming. But
We
this
did.
album just
They talked
no,
about it.
they
They
no
talked
no
about it.
nobody talked about. Literally, this was a surprise.
In that interview, Jay Z said, "Yeah, we was working on the album, but we decided to let her come out with her album first." He confirmed they had an album before Lemonade was dropped.
I ain't heard as many interviews.
It was in the Jay Z interview. I promise you, bro. You can
I
go
gotta
back
go
and
listen
watch
to that. I didn't listen to
it.
many of Jay's interviews, and I ain't heard him preach on nothing between him and him and Beyonce got an
He,
album.
he mentions they had an album coming out, but they agreed to let Lemonade come out first. That's confirmed, bro.
Well, if that's the case, then guess what? We knew an album was coming, but no one anticipated. It was a Saturday. It was a Saturday evening at that, and it just dropped out of nowhere. So it caught everybody off guard. And if you want to put it like that, it's better than anything that's been put out this month. Maybe less than J Rock and maybe less than that Pusher. But this album is really. It just showcased that they really vibe off each other, and I really caught that vibe from that love is what is that nice record, that love happy record. It just sounded like they really love each other and they just over whatever hardships they went through with the whole cheating scandal and whatnot. And it just seemed like Beyonce just was in her zone. I just ain't never seen a rapping Beyonce at this level, and I really was impressed with the album. So I give it kudos.
I mean, it's okay, man.
It's not for everybody, but it is what it is. If you, I don't know, for I'm not gonna say my ear is better than most people's ear when it comes to music, but I listen to a whole bunch of music, and I like to see what you're trying to do and see if it gives some type of vibe to it. And if you put on this album, if you take your ego, or if you take out the mindset of like, oh, this is a marketing scheme, or if you take out the mindset of preconceived notions that you may have already had before you even listened to the album, if you really just put it on and listen, you'd be like, God damn, this is really a good album. These are two people who are reach a level of success that they can talk about the wealth that they have. And on top of that, Jay-Z is still giving you A+ bars out there, where we looking at on the flip side, Nas, who is struggling to fit in modern production wise or modern I
Well,
guess styles or
he
whatever.
picked the wrong production team. That's what it came down when I was him and Kanye really don't mesh to me. I
Man,
never
they
really,
did
I,
on that one song. What was that?
Freemason.
Yeah, oh goddamn, that song was incredible, man.
But
I
that's
jumped that
it.
earlier.
But that's it.
But
That's
that
what,
wasn't a Nas song, was it?
yeah. No, that was
No, it was a Kanye song, but still, like it was a Nas. I mean, Kanye production, and Nas kind of hopped on it. I see what you're saying, but I mean, he did on a few
and
songs. I like
that's
that.
into an old Kanye, new Kanye Nas.
Yeah, I
Nah,
understand.
that's not it. It's the wrong time. If this Kanye and Nas 2004, give me that all day.
I'm gonna point out three songs on the track on the CD that I really did appreciate. I like Adam and Eve. I think Dream did a good job. I think I really like the.
Dream has done solid work for the past 10 years, and nobody really appreciates him.
I think more people
He does
appreciate it
solid work.
more than you think, because I remember when he was doing he had that one show with what's that one show with Rick Ross or whatever on VH1,
Hmm.
and you kind of see what he was doing behind the scenes and whatnot. I mean, he got the Grammys to show for it. He got the accolades. He got the money. So I don't know. I think it's more surprising that he works on a lot of stuff that no one knew about. Honestly, I think that we could say that.
I'm with you
But
100% on
but that Adam and Eve was a good track. That Everything was a good track, and Simple Things. So if you want to look at it, and those is like three tracks, I think that was pretty decent, if not better than decent.
that. What do you think of the Nas, Will?
Um, mm-mm.
That's all you had to say. Mm-mm.
I don't. I I think that sometimes when we try to I guess for lack of a better term, kind of evolve with the times or keep up with what is the latest. And I don't want to trend. I'm not saying it like he's being trendy, but like the way that music trends sometimes, as far as the structure of it, the characteristics, and the flow of it. Um, I think sometimes it's better to stay in your lane and just kind of keep it classy. And I think that's part of what takes away from the gravity of this album. I think that it's one of those things of trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. It's not what we would usually hold a Nas to as far as standards are concerned. And it's equal parts confusion and kind of disappointing. It's like, are you trying to reach because you're that hard up to get the love again? Or, did somebody try to talk you into this? You know what I'm saying? It's just something that's weird about it, but it just didn't quite vibe. It didn't really quite connect between the production and the things that he was saying in the raps. It's almost like the way somebody had said it to me in passing. It's like, Nas wrote all his raps before he ever got sent any beats. And it was just like, yeah, okay, well, we're just gonna put this one with this beat, this one with this beat,
Yeah, he just
this
started
one with this.
plugging and playing, and that wasn't it.
Yeah,
But
it didn't really work for me. I mean, I'm not gonna dog it and say it was just horrible, but it's not something that's gonna be in my rotation. It's not something that's gonna stay in my rotation. It's the bottom line.
you know what's funny about that? Because we're over here talking about production and how it didn't fit, but that's always been Nas's problem, in my opinion, with his albums. His production is
like, who decides on this? Is it him?
it's so inconsistent because this is what this album remind me of. I don't know if y'all remember the album that Nas dropped in like '04, Streets Disciple. That album, I mean, it was just like Nas had a whole bunch of beats on that album that were far fetched, and it's like, damn, this is not what I'm used to hearing from Nas. So it was shocking to hear it in '04. So it's even more shocking in 2018 to hear that he's still struggling with production. I mean, that should be the one. As your money grows, you think your production would get a little bit better, but I don't know.
I feel it would be easier because you know what your music's supposed to sound like.
That's true, man.
It's weird that you're struggling with production later in your career than earlier. So that's
And then he didn't have Dave East on the CD. I was just like, throw up, dog. Are you serious? How you not gonna have Dave East on your CD, dog? This is like your protege, and you're not gonna put him on no track?
Yeah,
Dave East probably heard them beats. Dave East probably heard them beats. Like, nah, son, this ain't for me. This ain't for me, dog. This ain't that New York stuff that we from. Nah, man.
What about that J Rock?
Oh man, what about that J Rock? J Rock may have. It's him and Nipsey. They're fighting for number 2 in my opinion, because number 1 is gonna be Cole. But they're fighting for number 2, and it come December, and we look back on music this year. We're gonna look at those two artists.
I think Joey Badass is gonna be upset at this conversation, but continue.
What Joey didn't drop no album this year.
I'm just saying, you talking about fighting for number 2?
No, fighting for number 2 album, best album of the year.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, man. Joey Badass is number 1 in all my categories for always until I die. Joey, this is off tangent, but Joey, I don't know if y'all look at his concert videos that he's doing with his tour. Joey drinks a lot, man. I think that dude needs to stop drinking as much. I'm talking about he taking full Henny bottles to the head. It ain't stopping. So I mean, Joey wild out here in the street, but he's living his best life. So I can't judge that man. But on J Rock album, we're gonna look back at J Rock and Nipsey Hussle, and we're gonna say those are the probably most underappreciated albums of the year, because in a time of everybody, like what Wilson said, trying to be trendy, trying to sound like everybody, those 2 albums sound like Compton. It sounds like I felt like I was in Sheila earlier, which is my Chrysler 200, and I'm riding, and I'm just like, I feel like I was looking at palm trees. I was ready to pull the sweet out, man. I was letting the window down. I feel like I was getting the California breeze jamming this album. I mean, man, we miss music like that. I miss music where I listen to Kanye West and it sound like, this sound like some Chicago soul music. Or I listen to a Houston rapper, I'm like, this sound like some good. I want to drink a little bit and slow a little down a little bit. And Atlanta music don't sound the same. It's just like those albums. J Rock album is that powerful, and it's fighting with Nipsey as the number 2 album this year. He has some of the greatest production I've heard in a long time on the album. And on top of that, I would like to give a shout out to my boy Cole. That nigga Cole is probably the greatest rapper out there behind Joey Badass. This nigga be eating. I don't know if anybody, if you want to listen to one track just to give you the type of vibe of the city, listen to OSOM and then also watch the video. Listen to the track first and then watch the video.
Okay, I'm with you, bro. Yeah, Cole always eating on something, bro. He just can't sit down with it.
Did you watch the video?
Nah, I ain't watched the video yet.
Man, dog, after the podcast, go watch the video. Do yourself a favor.
I'm gonna peep it out. I'm gonna peep it out. Did you get a chance to catch that J Rock, Will?
Yes, I actually did, trying to keep up with young Griffin there because
Yes.
I knew that he would go out there and be stunting extra hard and giving all that energy that he just gave y'all. And I am here to say that there is no buzz in me whatsoever because I
Yes.
completely agree with everything you said. It, it, it's extreme, and I guess the right word to say is like Griff said, it's extremely refreshing. Uh, to hear somebody that just gets out there, does the thing. If you like me, you like me. If not, then it's your loss because I'm still hot as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I this get. Uh, it's hip hop, man, and that's the one thing that I can really say that made me bend my ear to it is the fact that yeah, it is what it is. He's one of the guys. You know the way those sports conversations, man. You know this guy could play in any era, or this guy could put up buckets in any era. You get that vibe from this album. Like this album could stand tall in any era of hip hop and be well
Mm-hmm.
received. And that's
Mm-hmm.
something that's rare to say about somebody that's relatively unknown to the masses. Hip hop heads know him, but mainstream don't really know him like that yet. They're gonna get to know him though. It's kind of like it's been fun for us to sit and see how these folks are starting to break through, like the Nipseys of the world, the Coles of the world, and now the J Rocks that, yeah, heads know about it, you know what I'm saying? But does the average, Joe Blow radio listener know about it? Nah, maybe not yet, but they're gonna.
I agree. I agree. I can't sing enough praises for this album.
That's what's up, man. And I was real pissed off this week, fellas, because I
Mm-mm.
hate how people just continue to exploit these dead rappers, man. Like it's one thing to talk about them, you know what I'm saying, badmouth their music, but to show them so much love and so much hate, like when they pass away, it pisses me off, dude, because that's not the society that we supposed to be in, man. And then you got people recording this man. Recording this man in his fucking car. Like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? Nobody trying to help him. They just want to see him.
Nobody calling 911.
Like,
That's
bro,
crazy.
is this where we at? Like, seriously, is this where we at? Like, I consider us all to be good people. We actually
Mm-hmm.
we care. We show concern. We show emotion. But shit like that, they don't show no emotion. You don't have no heart to do shit like that. To not try to help somebody if they are looking lifeless. That pisses me off, dude. That
Man,
pisses me off, man.
this this is the first. I don't know. I don't know how many rappers. I mean, you can look at a few rappers that have passed over the past few years, and you think about it. This is one of the deaths that I have to honestly say that was the most surprising, the most that was out of left field, and it seemed like the most kind of random act of death or whatnot. I don't. It is not like somebody was aiming at his head or had a price on his head, or it don't look like he was suffering from anything. It was just like a random day in just America. You just happen to be wrong place one time, and it seemed like stuff just went back for the worse. But like you said, I echo everything that you said about how people just have no respect for
No respect, bro.
privacy. Pretty much privacy. And I don't even think that's considered their privacy, but they just have no. I don't know, man. Common sense is not common. I guess we could throw that out
That's
there.
true.
That's
It's a
true.
man out there dying in his passenger seat. There's no, I mean, in his driver's seat. There's no telling if
How
his
much
life
time
could
he
have been
has left?
saved.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You could have been calling, dialing up the phone, calling 911
You
or
want to
something.
record the shit, bro. Like,
And
seriously,
everybody looking for the views. Everybody looking for the clicks. Like, oh man, I got that first video of X
why?
dying.
Why?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
What is that gonna prove? That-
You don't get paid to be a good Samaritan. You
Hmm.
don't
That's
get
true.
paid to have good conscience. You don't get paid to do what's morally sound and right because that doesn't get you ratings and that doesn't sell well.
Hmm.
We talked about this before when we got together with our melanated and illuminated brother Adam Ra on a previous show. It's a disconnect with this generation our generation is so jaded. We talked about it jokingly, but when we came to the subject of video games and how games like Call of Duty and stuff like that have made this generation so jaded to the concept of things that normally would terrify us to the point of having to have a respect for it, it does not exist. It's not there. When your natural instinct tells you that in a moment of crisis, let alone a moment of having an opportunity to help someone that's in crisis, your first response isn't to go seek shelter, go seek safety, or go seek help. To click on your phone, make sure you're recording, and yell out whatever hashtag you need to make sure that you got the moment captured, so you can put it up and go viral and get likes and retweets for that shit.
Pathetic, bro. Pathetic as
That is a serious problem that people are refusing to acknowledge at this point. It's going to get a lot worse before people actually do it. And it pains me to say that, but we're going to get to a point where we're going to have to deal with the fact that unless you put yourself in a position to be self-sustaining or self-sufficient as far as being in a situation where you may come into some danger or be put into a state of crisis, you might as well just accept the fact that if something happens to you out there in the world, you just gonna be gone.
Mm-hmm. You might be out there straight out of look.
You
It's
be out
even
there and you could possibly be helped, but somebody would rather find you bleeding out than choose to get you help.
well. I mean, hey, that's hey, make America great again.
we can.
I mean,
All we can do is try.
And I mean, to a certain extent,
All we can do is
that's part of the problem. I would say that that's the cause of the problem, and that's even more disturbing because that stuff occurred before Orange even got in office. We've been dealing with stuff,
Mhm.
situations like this for the part of I'd say about 15 years now. And that's disturbing because it's gotten progressively worse. It's gotten progressively more demonstrative because we've had better advancements in technology to be able to make it more demonstrative. But make no mistake about it, this is something, we can't always play the race card. We can't always blame it on the pitchfork that's sitting in the White House. I mean, sometimes we have to dig deeper and we have to acknowledge the root of the problem at its source a little bit better. Uh, it's just a relative disconnect period with this generation, with this technology, with this advantage, accessibility, and invasion of privacy, like you said, Griff. It's a double-edged sword, and people do not have a healthy enough respect for it to treat it in a manner in which it's supposed to be utilized.
Yep, that's all facts, bro. And I know at least one of y'all, if not both of y'all, caught The Incredibles a couple of times this week. What y'all think of it, man?
man, I caught it one time to put it on a lighter note. Man, that movie was incredible. I hate no pun intended, but that movie was off the chain.
Unfully intended.
And you know what's the greatest thing about the movie? It's not even Mr. Incredible or Jack Jack or Dash or Elastigirl or just the way the animation is updated. It is Frozen. It is like Disney personally said, Samuel Jackson, you can be Samuel Jackson in this movie. And it showed throughout his character the whole movie. From when he was sitting next to Elastigirl and he had this little smirk on his face, he looked like Samuel. The way he was having reaction to everything that what Jack was doing, dog, Samuel Jackson stole this movie to me.
And newsflash for a lot of people, because I see that it's something that's been trendy since this movie has come out. Um, if you didn't realize that Elastigirl was thick in the first movie, like you hustling backwards. It kills me how many folks
How
have
they
posted
missed
up
that?
memes. Ooh man, Elastigirl thick. She ain't changed since the first movie.
This is literally
One of them random things that I just thought was hilarious. I'm like, y'all just now taking the time to notice the fact this she thick? Okay,
and it ain't
all
like
right, cool.
and it's not like 20 years just passed or something. This is literally like 5 minutes after the first movie. She been thick.
Exactly. I'm,
She
I'm,
been
I'm
thick
like,
all the time.
okay. Like, all right, sorry that y'all guys wasn't working on the first one. I don't know what the fuck y'all were looking at, but okay, cool.
Especially in that first movie when she pulled that on it was this is how bad it is. In the beginning of the movie when it's like um I think Mr. Incredible is introduced to Elastigirl. Well, I mean, they finally interact with each other, and she was like, "I'll show you how flexible I am." You should have literally saw how thick she was off that scene. So I don't know.
Man.
Folks weren't looking. Maybe they was young at the time. I don't know. But even if he was a young kid, even Xavier was like, "She got a big behind." He's 3 years old.
He know about that rump, boy.
Hey man, hey, bumps in the bump, bumps in the bump. Hey.
And man,
Xavier too old. He too
that
old.
Creed trailer, Michael B. Jordan is about to kill it with the Creed. I'm ready for it. Creed 1 was phenomenal.
Hey, I hate that movie. That movie went so underrated. You know that movie only made like $109 million, which is criminal. That movie only made $109 million.
Sylvester Stallone did his thing in Creed, bro.
I like how it was like a passing of the torch kind of in my mind, because if you look at the first Creed, I mean the first movie, Creed, it was just like, okay, Rocky kind of he had the good acting chops, and it was kind of focused around him with him having cancer or whatnot. But you could see in this movie and in this trailer that Michael B. Jordan is starting to be more focused on him and him being a father, him facing failure once again, and him facing the son of the man who killed his father. And the thing I love about this movie is
that's like a turn of the franchise right there. Like, I think
oh yeah, man! If he dies, he dies. That's one of the greatest quotes ever. You can use that for anything. That's one of the greatest quotes ever. But what I love about this trailer is it felt like the first, even though this is not directed by what's his name that did Black Panther, Ryan Coogler. Yeah. It feels like a Ryan Coogler film. I know the director is friends with Ryan Coogler. He directed a few episodes of Grownish, I want to say, and it's gonna be interesting to see how that movie's gonna work out, how the dialogue is gonna work out. But from the trailer standpoint, drop Kendrick in there, loyalty, and then go ahead and you got it, you sold. And I'm gonna be honest. There's one scene that I love. There's two scenes. There's a scene where Drago. You really don't see who the quote unquote the villain of the movie is until the end, when you see Drago's son and you see him bounce off the rope and you see his robe with his name on the back of it. I thought that was pretty iconic and a nice little nod at those people that have been fans of the Rocky series. And also, it kind of intrigues the people that are fans of the Creed series. Like, oh, who is this Drago dude or whatnot? They do a little research. Oh, okay. They find out the pieces, how they fit in the puzzle. And then I also like the one scene where he's underwater and he's speed punching in underwater. Man, that scene was so iconic. And Michael B. Jordan really looked like a boxer in that scene. It looked like Ali trying to go out there and train. Man, it was pretty phenomenal. Man, I hope this movie's great.
No, I expect it to be phenomenal. Michael B. Jordan's at the top of his game right now. Man.
With this project, or was he not available for this one?
Who?
Coogler.
Oh, he said that. Man, it was something that he said about he didn't want to direct this movie because he had to do something else, so he left in it. He's involved.
Something like that.
I think he's involved in it. I think he's like an executive producer and he helped with the screenplay, but he gave it all to his friend or somebody he trusted the most of. So that's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna give me a little bit of anxiousness as far as seeing what the finished product looks like, is because I know it's not going to be quote unquote Coogler's vision, although he's involved with it. And it's not a knock, but it's just something that I'll be paying attention to, because as we are all familiar with now, we are quite familiar with what the Coogler touch looks like. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. And yeah, like Griff just said, man, anything from like the iconic underwater shadow boxing that they got straight from the Ali picture from Time Life magazine, to the way that they went through with the imagery. They didn't give you the face or the actual look, but they just gave you that back shot of that Drago on the back of that robe. And Griffin is being nice to you all. If you all have to go through and research who the villain is in this movie, don't watch the movie, because you're not really a Rocky or a Creed fan. So don't worry about it. It's all good.
That's true. Because if you don't know, it's sad, dog.
To a Rocky series, don't watch it. Don't watch it. We don't even want you in the theater, because you're gonna ask the question at the wrong time and somebody's gonna hit you in the face with some popcorn.
Like, nigga, this is Creed. You might as well call this Rocky 8?
Who Drago was, man? Get his ass out here. You know what? Where's the other one? No, he can't sit next to me.
I heard Dorf. What his name? How you say his name? Dorf Longer. I can't say his name at all. Say it again.
Dolph Lundgren.
Okay, yeah, he's gonna he has a cameo in the film, so I can't wait to see him because you know how jacked he is
Oh
now,
yeah,
and you
you
know.
know, they're going to make sure that he gets all of his people paid. You learned that from the Expendable series. There was
Hmm.
no way that put Ivan Drago or anything associated with him in this movie and not actually have Ivan Drago in the movie.
And
Uh, because they low key like months ago when they talked about the fact that Sylvester Stallone had him on for the film. I already knew who the villain was going to be in the movie. I was like, oh shit, he gonna have him fight Drago's kid. That's dope.
hmm
I mean,
oh,
I get
and
paid attention. They knew because they knew about Dolph Lundgren getting cast in the movie. Like when they first decided that there was going to be a
a
movie, that was one
sequel,
of the
yeah.
first movies.
And there's two there's and they, you know what gives me hope about this movie is that there was a reports that Sylvester Stallone was going to direct this movie, but he stepped down to give it to Ryan Coogler's friend because his vision was better than what he was going to, I guess, what he was going to attempt to do. So it makes it interesting. And it also, the first film only made like almost $30 million opening weekend. I'm going to be very curious to see how much this movie makes because
Oh my
Michael
god!
B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson are hot right now. And the fact that they're coming off of two Marvel properties that literally people praise as two of the best of, or Black Panthers being one of the best solo movies and Thor Ragnarok being one of the best in the Thor series, it's going to be so interesting to see it does that reflect to a box office explosion for that movie Creed 2. I mean, Creed 2 has nothing but to go up, so I can't wait.
Yeah, it's got tremendous upside to it, man. I think that it's going to far exceed what Creed 1 did, simply off the strength of the fact that
The first one's
honestly,
good, yeah.
I think that unless it was die-hard Rocky fans, a lot of people just didn't trust Creed. A lot of
That's
people
true.
didn't know what to expect, so they were like, "Yeah, it would have been different if they'd have made it like a Rocky 8, the next chapter, and then introduce Creed." Because off the name association, people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's a Rocky movie. I'm gonna go see that shit." But when you saw Creed, you're like, I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to take advantage of this young boy Michael Jordan being hot right now. I don't know if it's gonna be good. And then the folks that took the chance was like, man, this shit was good.
I'm gonna be honest
So
with you, man, and I don't know. We may not be on the same page. I'm a huge Rocky fan, and I truly think Creed is the best entries in like the Rocky, you, I mean umbrella because I just love the modern themes of it. I love the love story. It was kind of
oh,
like
most
a
definitely.
soft
I mean, it's
reboot.
a throwback. It's a throwback exactly. It's a throwback to the way the
Hmm.
original when you literally look at Creed and you break it down to its fundamental core, it's almost exactly like the first Rocky movie.
Very much so.
That's
The,
true.
the the situations that they come out of are different because he's not a dude coming up, just milling around, just being a tough guy, and stuff like that. But he's doing his fighting the little underground lower circuit fights and trying to prove his worth and cut his teeth. And then he gets this shot and he meets this fabulous chick that he thinks is out his league, but he shoots the shot anyway. And he goes through and shocks the world and overachieves in his
Hmm.
match. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like the parallels are there, and I think that's one of the things that makes us as Rocky fans. Because yes, I'm a diehard Rocky fan too.
Hmm.
It's the one thing that makes us buy into that Creed movie immediately because it just felt like Rocky. It's the best Rocky movie they've made since Rocky 4.
Yeah. Whew, Rocky Four was really good. Very underrated movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Balboa
Man,
was
Rocky,
it was pretty good too, but
Rocky
Rocky
4
Four was the
was
fire.
great. Rocky 4 was such great American propaganda. Holy shit.
Yes, it was. It
Rocky
was
4 made you feel patriotic as fuck. I don't give a
it was
damn
that that and
right now.
Captain America and what's that other movie with the puppets? The American Squad or whatever that puppet
Yeah,
movie is.
yeah, I know what you're
You come out feeling like a patriot, like God damn it, I love this country. And then you turn on the NFL and be like, God damn, fuck this country.
I know,
Did you
right?
take my flag? Oh, shit. Ooh, with that flag, I knew this motherfucking movie was gonna jump off. Never
Exactly.
mind.
Where my flag at?
I get home. Fuck this shit.
Hey, man, Griff, did you end up watching MTV Awards? Or you boycotted it this year?
Actually, Wilson is the one to watch it, and from his post, I turned it on because I didn't even know nothing about it.
What y'all think?
Go through and I'm not trying to step on your toes, Griff, but I figure we could kill two birds with one stone.
Hmm.
Let me preface this by saying that Neither I nor Griff in any way, shape, form, or fashion are fans of quote unquote award shows. Why? Because it's kind of like listening to the radio as opposed to listening to all the rest of the music that's available. Award
That was a
shows
good. That was a
give you the
good
shit
comparison.
that's popular. They're gonna give you the shit that's gotten the most likes, gotten the biggest reviews. They're gonna go through and put out the shit that's gonna be hot and get them the best ratings.
Hmm.
Granted, I understand they have to make their money and stuff like that. It does not mean that they always have the best and most qualified people available to be up for said awards. And that's why I believe that me and Griff both have a problem with award shows. That being said, I enjoyed this award show simply because it was refreshing to see a completely different format as far as the level of inclusion and lack of divisiveness in said show. They not only did not go gender specific in this award show, they did not differentiate between TV shows and movies. They all competed against each other, which I thought was a very, very interesting concept. One that should be adopted by most awards shows, but uh, they don't.
He keeping it real. He's keeping it real at 100%. I really enjoy the show. I enjoyed the intro with Tiffany Haddish doing the little reenactment with Black Panther. I thought that was refreshing. It's probably one of the best ones I've seen since I'm gonna take it back way back in the day when Will Ferrell was on. Uh, Remember when they did a parody on the MTV Movie Awards with Will Ferrell when he was in The Matrix when he was playing the architect. Man, I thought that was hilarious, and I thought that Tiffany Haddish did a great job with her take on Black Panther. I enjoyed what's the name? Chris Pratt's speech that he gave. I have never seen somebody of the Caucasian ilk give that much praise to God ever in my life, and I know that the situation that he's been in with his son being born premature and him and Anna Faris almost losing his kid, and he was talking about how he got closer to the Lord during that time. And I just really thought that his speech was phenomenal. I think it was hilarious. I think it had some great. He made some great points throughout that speech about equality and about how that the Lord, just praying is the strongest tool that you can ever have in your weaponry. And then I also like to give a shout out to my boy Chadwick Boseman giving his award to the Starbucks guy. Wasn't it Starbucks guy?
Super dope moment. Yeah, I believe it was like a Starbucks or a Waffle House or something.
Yeah,
Either way,
something like that.
prevented a shooting from happening, and the guy wasn't aware that he was going to get called up on stage or be given the award. But Chadwick made sure that he went out of his way to not only acknowledge the man, but he let him know, hey, appreciate you for what you did just as a human being, period. And he gave him his MTV award, and he was like, this is gonna stay at your house.
That's what's up, man. That's
Wakanda forever. Wakanda forever.
He Black Panther 24/7. He ain't got no choice.
Oh, he ain't got no choice. He ain't never. It's crazy, man. This dude is James Brown, Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, and T'Challa. This dude is killing. All he got to do is play Morgan Freeman in the future.
Wait, let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. And just for a splash of trivia, in that horribly whitewashed movie about the Egyptian gods and all that other shit with Gerard Butler and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, he was the best thing about it.
He was the only black person in that one too.
Oh yeah, man. This is the King Black. Morgan Freeman, move aside. We got a new champion of the people.
Slide over, Samuel L. Watch your back. I'm coming.
Watch it, Samuel.
Man,
watch it, Denzel.
Nick Fury ain't got nothing on him, man.
Oh man, I'm telling you, man. Hey, Chadwick is killing it, man. He killing it out here in these streets.
For sure, man. For sure. We're gonna start breaking down the NFL divisions, bro. Training camp around the corner. That means the NFL season is gonna be coming up. This week we're gonna kick it off with the NFC West. We're gonna start with these first place Los Angeles Rams. They went 11-5 last year. Do y'all see them continuing that success, maybe having a higher win total? Do y'all see them digressing? They had a lot of key components come over. Stu, Peters, Talib, Sam Shields, Brandon Cooks. How can you forget about him? Todd Gurley's going to be in another year being the bell cow running back. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. Man, it's a lot of
Man,
talent going on.
if I'm in LA, man, I'm so pumped right now just to watch the Rams. I'm so giddy. I'm like, oh my god. I feel like I feel like how it was
They
at the
are
beginning of the
pumped.
episode.
They were there in droves. You would have thought the fucking draft was in LA this year. I have never seen that many Rams fans ever in my life. They are insanely hyped about this season. You can't tell them shit. They're
St.
worse
Louis
than
is
Raiders.
salty as shit right now.
bro.
Bro,
Well, St.
y'all
Louis didn't want to get in no
fucking
stadium. They didn't want to get
That's
in no
true.
stadium. That trash ass stadium they was playing in. They needed something.
Tearing boys Achilles and shit.
And then you got LA coming here just giving them everything, and he already had property over there, so it just worked out for Sam Kroenke, honestly. So
Oh, their team is gonna be
they,
nice to watch.
moving to LA. FYI.
Say it again, Wilson.
They had a much better plan on moving to LA than the Chargers did.
Yeah,
FYI.
because Chargers still in lump.
I don't
Man.
know what they doing, Griff.
Oh, I don't know what's going on with my boy Phillip Rivers and his
They need,
squad.
they need to go back. They need to go ahead and send that text to San Diego, like, hey, y'all.
Hey, you up? I miss you. Hey, big hand. That's what Wilson said.
But man, do y'all see this team winning more than 11 games? Y'all think? What y'all think?
Bro, I can't see them losing no game. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying. They got talent on defense, on special teams, on offense. I mean, man. And then they got a first sniff of playoff success. Ooh, wee. I can't wait to watch this team next year.
I mean, they schedule don't even look too tough. I mean, of course, you got your Packers. You got
Oh, that may be a loss for them.
maybe Vikings. Vikings could be a
Nope.
tough one for them.
Well, the one thing that works out awkward for them is twofold. Number one, it's great when you got a huge influx of talent coming in and stuff like that, but you got to make sure that chemistry is there. We've all seen too many times people have made them free agent and they've gotten a lot of names, but them names don't vibe together. And I'm not saying that this is the case right now, but it's something that has to bear itself out. Secondly, I think that their schedule, when it's all said and done, is going to prove to be a little bit tougher than most people think, simply because I think that some of those teams that they have to play are not going to be as bad as they were the previous season. Specifically, they're having to play the NFC North because Chicago isn't going to be an easy win. Detroit isn't going to be an easy win for them. And Minnesota and Green Bay, damn sure ain't going to be easy wins for them. You look at their own division. You got an up-and-coming San Francisco team that's trying to prove themselves. You've got Seattle that's trying to still hold on and prove that this was a one-year anomaly for the Rams being on top where they want to be. You got the Cardinals that's got arguably the most versatile running back in the game coming back, to spur on that offense and see what they can do. It's
Pay the
not like
man.
it's not like they're just in a runaway spot as far as the division is concerned. They're not in the AFC East. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're the Patriots and everybody else is just like far and away head and shoulders behind them. They're in a relatively competitive division, and then the fact that they're playing in the NFC in and unto itself is going to be a challenge moving forward during the season. We have to see if Jared Goff is going to still maintain or if he's going to go through, what will basically be a redshirt sophomore slump. You have to make sure that everybody stays healthy, which is a big key with all their key pieces. You have to hope that, everything works out with their front seven. Their front seven is phenomenal when you look at it on paper, and I mean phenomenal.
Capital.
Say it again.
All capital, underline, bold,
underline, italicized.
36.
Like somewhere, God rest their souls, Ian Jones and Merlin Olsen is like, shit, can I get in on that D-line rotation?
Let me slide on them.
Next to Sue and all them, boy, I have 45
Kurt
Kurt
Warner's like, man, I need to play for that team.
I will say,
let me get a few reps in.
This team having an early home stretch could help them, having the Cardinals, Chargers, and Vikings. But those next 4 on the road, Seahawks, Broncos, 49ers, home to the Packers, but then back on the road at the Saints. That's gonna show a lot. But like I said, that home
schedule has NFC contenders on it. Yes. It's one thing to say, it's not,
and the Super Bowl champions at the end.
Exactly. There's so many contenders on their schedule. We'll find out what they're all about. We'll see if it was a fluke or not, because they damn sure gonna have to earn it. But for my money, I see them right at it. I mean, now if everything clicks right and everything gels and everybody can stay healthy, is 12 or 13 wins out of the question? Absolutely not.
Nope.
But I'll tell you right now, if the Rams win more than 11 regular season games, they're probably going to win the Super Bowl.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
They're gonna be clicking.
They got
Man,
to. They got to click. They got to click early. They got to win that crowd over that 3-game stretch. They got to win that crowd over.
And stay healthy.
Even though
man.
they're only gonna have 4 days rest between the Chargers and the Vikings, so that could be brutal.
And how many folks are gonna see playing with these sons of bitches? Madden. Good God.
Whew. Yeah, and them are the Eagles. Because the Eagles, I think they're the coldest team on, man. They at 90.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
It's higher than the next closest team on Madden.
Yeah, 6 points, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I mean, it's an absolute lie, but I mean, Madden just likes to get caught up in the moment every once in a while, so it's all good.
I seen Deshaun Watson was a 78, so I got kind of disgusted with that. And Jadeveon Clowney's an 80, and Deshaun Watson's a 78.
Throw the whole game away. Just toss it in the trash bin.
This is the day and age that we live in, because the only reason I know all of this stuff that's going on is because I've actually watched it on TV. But it's so funny that SportsCenter and other shows would be dominated by this. But it's funny to me, they had a big ass argument on Undisputed about the fact that the Cowboys have the most players rated 90 or higher on their team with 5. And I'm almost positive that at least 3 of them or 4 of them are offensive line.
3 got to be linemen, then Zeke and what's the defender? DeMarcus Lawrence. That got to be the 5 right there.
Yeah, I like DeMarcus Lawrence.
I'm hoping so. But even with that being said, would you rank a DeMarcus Lawrence higher than a Jadeveon Clown?
No.
Is Dak Prescott rated 75?
Oh no.
They robbing the Texans.
If Dak Prescott is rated in the 80s and Deshaun Watson is only rated at 78, that's a problem.
Hey, bring NFL Blitz back. Throw Madden away.
I mean, unfortunately, he has the world's greatest stronghold on the NFL naming and player rights. So all of those different, it's kind of like the WWE now that they took over and bought out ECW and WCW. Yeah, it makes you feel good because it's only one dude, and yeah, we're the big guys on the planet. But the problem with that is the level of competition and quality of product suffers because you don't have anything to motivate you to put the best product out there. Because nobody has any alternative. Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest issue a lot of people have had with Madden ever since they got those exclusive licensing rights.
NFL 2K? Ooh. Cold game, man. I had my little deck out in the house.
If 2K had enough people to believe in them to actually put enough money behind them to get them to properly be able to bid to keep that licensing at least open to where both companies could use it, I don't think that Madden would be Madden right now. Because the way that 2K so ruthlessly walked down.
Look at NBA Live.
Suffering.
Like they walked them down like Carl Lewis in a track meet, homie. I remember when 2K first came out, and I was like, "Yeah, it looks all right." But this live though, man, like 2 years.
2K start getting good around 8 and 9 when Shaq was on the cover. No, was it 7?
2K was good when it was on the Dreamcast with 2K1, 2K3. Them hoes was lit.
I never seen that 3-peat on the cover.
They turned up when they had when Ben Wallace was on the cover when it was $20. That's when 2K turned up for real.
That was time to take over. It was like, oh, we come to make statements. You got Ben Wallace on the cover.
Remember the days when I could actually enjoy NBA Live because my life has been so dominated by NBA 2K now. It's like when they did this whole we coming back with the NBA Live, I was like, yeah, whatever. Pass me that 2K player. Let me let me get in on that.
His career. Right quick.
Did I get my VC up on these last 2 games? Need to check.
I got hey mama, $20. I need $20. Give me some VC points.
I heard that Nike, so I'm about to get sponsored by Nike this season. Get rid of these.
I'm live.
Get rid of these.
Man, if y'all had to pick who's gonna be the leading receiver on the Rams, who would it be?
Ooh, it's gonna be Cooper Kupp because I'm so high on Cooper Kupp just for the simple fact of how many drops he had in the red zone. He gonna fix that.
The fact about the targets he got in the red zone.
Oh yeah, he got all the targets. He was
I'm
like
telling you right now.
tight end targets.
I'm telling you right now, Cooper Kupp is about to be just under Adam Thielen on the White Lightning scale this season.
Oh, he about to be White Lightning.
My guy last year. Now he really on the map. So I know people.
Yeah. Cooper Kupp, and now that he's had time to process more of that offense, the one thing that works into his favor that he actually for in his rookie year was the fact that he knows how to find holes in zones.
Mm-hmm.
A vet. He knows how to find them little holes and sit in them seams and do those little things that you want your guy to be able to do. But he can still go through, and he's how do those old school folks say it? He's deceptively fast.
Oh yeah, he can catch that deep ball. Whoo, no homo, dog.
Deceptively fast. Yeah. Like when you not really paying attention to him, he's behind you, and you the fuck is this white boy?
That dude caught this 60 bomb.
What else really helps is the fact that Brandon Cooks prefers to play on the outside. He's not a slot guy. He knows he's not a slot guy.
Did you hit who? The Brandon Cooks?
Don't who Brandon Cooks.
Let me tell you right now, Uncle Buzz is putting it on notice, man. This is a make or break, hoe up or blow up moment and season for Brandon Cooks, because I'm about ready to throw out that picture of Kool-Aid.
Do you know Brandon Cooks surprisingly had 1,000
status? And yes, I did know he had $250,000, but it's in the way that he got as opposed to what we need him for that I have.
Okay, so I could defend Brandon Cooks just by a tad. I feel like Tom Brady missed him a lot this season. There was plays where he was open.
The third or fourth option for Tom Brady.
He was, and Tom Brady wasn't.
Problem. That's the other problem. Not to cut you, Griff, is that I think that he went to the wrong scheme and the wrong fit. It's not Moss 2007 Patriots offense no more. They don't run it like that. It's no need for you to run a constant popping deep threat in New England's offense. They're not built like that. So it really didn't maximize or use his talent.
It's going to be very interesting what he does with Robert Woods. Oh, man, it's going to be very interesting.
Jeez.
Oh, it's going to be hard out there for defenses, man, because you got to pick your poison. And then they got that tight end.
Todd Gurley.
I forgot about Todd Gurley. Oh, Lord.
And John Kelly. Hey, Griff,
is he still there?
Griff, if you do go at the top, John Kelly is the ultimate handcuff. That guy is a monster. John Kelly's a monster.
Lord, I'm over here I'm swaying side to side thinking about the Rams. Oh, Lord.
Rams ready.
You think about it, it's not get it twisted, because I know y'all got introduced to it, but y'all got addicted to it last year for IDP purposes. Their defense is just as sexy as offense.
I know.
They got a ton of players you can pick from.
Ooh,
Good
Lord.
job.
I'm
on both sides. Like it's weird to say this because you're speaking so highly about the freaking Rams, and there's no Marshall Faulk or Kurt Warner to speak of. But them dudes is loaded. Both sides, they loaded.
For sure.
Can we talk about another team that I feel like is going to suffer? The Marcus as the next team on your list.
What you got? Talk to me.
Who's Seattle? I feel so bad for Russell Wilson, man. Oh God!
You leave my cousin alone. He's gonna be just fine. He's gonna persevere.
I see 6 and 10 all over this schedule.
I see
6 and 10.
What did they go last year?
They went 9 and 7 last year.
9 and 7.
They lost so much. You lose Sheldon Richardson, Michael Bennett, Richard Sherman, Jeremy Lane. It's like Jimmy Graham,
Paul Richardson.
Now, don't get me. I love Rashad. I love Rashad Penny. I love Rashad Penny and the opportunities he's going to get, but
man,
Rashad Penny's going to eat. Rashad Penny and Doug Baldwin. That's it. That's all I see.
Brad Marshall, the resurgence.
Nah, bro.
It's going to be interesting to see, man, but I think the reports of their demise is a little exaggerated. I actually think they might come close to actually repeating their record. I looked at them being maybe 8-8 or 9-7, just off the strength of the fact that we've taken it for granted because he's had such a great supporting cast, and you really haven't had a chance to concentrate on his skill set or his progression. But we have to understand that we're watching Russell Wilson that's pretty much at the apex of his prime. And make no mistake about it, he has them wizardry skills almost to that Aaron Rodgers level when properly promoted. He extends plays and makes plays out of nothing more than arguably any quarterback in the league right now. And it's not really by choice, but he does what he does anyway. If he can get a little bit of production out of that offensive line, if Penny can show up, and
DJ Fluker got to play like the draft pick he was. If he does that with Dwayne Brown on the other side, they have a chance. Bro.
They have a chance.
Exactly, and that's why I haven't really given up hope on them because they still have some manageable pieces to work with. But if anybody gets a hangnail, if anybody stubs their toe, if they get any injuries of any kind, throw the whole team away.
Now, I will say Russell Wilson is going to be in a lot of shootouts because that defense is going to be getting their ass drugged.
He's in that MVP conversation this season.
So those stats are going to be looking nice. Those stats are going to be looking super nice for us.
There's going to be two. Go, Wilson.
Oh, I was just saying he's going to be a super duper high pick for fantasy. For just paying attention, he's going to be a one-man band out there.
He is.
There's going to be two MVP candidates on that team.
Talk to me.
One is going to be Russell Wilson for real life purposes, but MVP purposes, Janikowski. He is on Seattle.
Stop.
It's over. And that man, dog. That's one thing Seattle always does is they always stop at the 40-yard kill, a field goal kick, or maybe a 50-yard. And Janikowski has shown many times that he can kick that religiously.
Rashad Penny gonna be taking those 40-yard kicks to the house.
Lord.
Rashad Penny is that guy.
We gonna see if that offensive line ain't blocking.
Timeout, because I didn't know this. I didn't know that. How could you just drop this bomb on me on live recordings like this, man? They got Janikowski, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They got the Polish kid.
With my 10th pick, I'm taking Janikowski super early in the draft.
Not before I take him with my 9th.
That's a good pickup.
I'm done with both of y'all, man.
Hey, dog, that was a good pickup, man.
I guess Ed Dixon gonna be a top 10 tight end also.
Ed Dixon is not a Florida State Senator. I have no knowledge whatsoever.
That man tripping over there.
You like how you speak to me?
I'm just saying, man. Y'all over here giving all this love to Janikowski. What about Darren Brown?
Give all this Le'Veon Bell's holding out ass. Why can't we give love to folks?
Because Le'Veon Bell's the best football player in the land.
Whoa there, man. Hold on, man. Hey, put the reefer down, man.
What? Who can handle that type of running back workload and still get 100 targets in receiving games?
David Johnson.
Yeah, broken down David Johnson. Let's get. Come on,
man. Hold on, man. Hold on. Hey, my boy David Johnson got hurt with the wrist, and then the Cardinals saw that season was teeter-totting, and they were just like, dog, that's our franchise player.
About Seattle. What about the Cardinals bringing in 2 offensive tackles that's missed double-digit games the last 10 years?
I have no faith in the Cardinals. They don't have Bruce Arians. They don't have my boy John Brown. They don't have the Honey Badger back there. They ain't got Jaron Brown, who had a good season last year.
4-12, bro.
Man, Larry Fitzgerald and David Johnson, goddamn, they gonna be in church a lot this year.
They better be because they got Christian Kirk. They better be in church.
Y'all have
4-12.
Yeah, we'll agree to disagree. That's fine.
The only thing I do like about them is they have Bryce Butler, and I feel like Bryce Butler was very underutilized with the Cowboys. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. And then they have Sam Bradford. If Sam Bradford can stay healthy and stay, upright, they can be different.
Ain't no Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians, maybe.
I know, it ain't no Bruce. I know, man. Don't remind me. I just said.
Steve Wilkes ain't about to come in and change. No, man. No.
Oh, I know. Bruce Arians, dog.
He got huge shoes to fill.
Man, Bruce is gonna be calling. He gonna be calling from his island while he chilling, and he gonna be calling in plays. He gonna be involved some type of way.
I feel bad for Patrick Peterson because I don't feel like he deserves no shit like that. I feel bad for Larry Fitzgerald.
I feel bad for David Johnson.
Man, I don't feel bad for David Johnson.
You watch him out.
Who?
Huh?
Who's the quarterback in Arizona?
Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford.
Fragile Sam Bradford.
Real quarterback in Arizona.
Josh Rosen ain't gonna touch
Mike Glennon.
And if you sit here and tell me that you gonna release that analytic with them tackles missing all them games, you gonna tell me that Sam Bradford is gonna stay on the field all year?
Ain't gonna happen.
like I said, we're talking about the real quarterback for the team, the rookie of the year,
I
Josh.
don't see Rosen getting in until week 10 at least. I still think Mike Glennon will start.
They gonna throw
in
Mike
week
Glennon over
3.
him. You think they?
First 4
You
games
think so?
first 4 games on their schedule.
First 4 games:
I don't know.
Redskins, Rams, Bears, and Seahawks. First 4.
He out after the Rams game. Boom.
Mm,
Boom.
you right.
I
You
don't see
right,
that.
man.
I don't see.
Game.
I'd wait till the bye week. I'd give him a whole second half.
I'll put Mike Glennon in there.
I let Mike Glennon get destroyed against the Vikings and Von Miller and Bradley Chubb against the Broncos. And then Brady wins.
He's going to take that number 2 spot. Y'all not understanding. Josh tried to tell y'all during the draft there were mistakes made in this. There were 9 mistakes that were made in that draft. He counted.
I love Josh Rosen. I think they're gonna wait a little bit. I think they're gonna wait a little bit.
Wilson, if you had reservations about Deshaun Watson being thrown behind the god awful Texans line, man, the Cardinals line is way worse than the Texans line.
First of all, I'm a lot more emotionally invested, and I actually like Deshaun Watson.
That is true.
That argument
You're right.
is different.
But the fact remains, the Cardinals were last in the NFC.
I explained why I didn't want Deshaun Watson.
They had the worst sacked offensive line in football on the NFC side. That doesn't change,
Bruh, they're about to make magic happen. I feel the spirit of Rod Tidwell descending on Arizona right now. You watch. You mark my words. You mark my words.
Give me the record.
7-9.
7-9.
Okay.
I'm telling you, man.
Okay.
You're going to have them shore up that back end of that defense. They got that young talent coming up. Yeah, they lost the Honey Badger, but I like Buda Baker better. Honestly.
I'm just mad they lost all the weapons.
Patrick Peterson is still there. They still have decent pieces on defense. So it's not like they're just completely out of there, just scrap it, blow it up, the whole thing. And if David Johnson comes back and you know, me and Griff may just be crazy, but I'm a little bit more comfortable with figuring that David Johnson is going to be David Johnson, seeing as that he came off of a wrist injury or not knee injury or an ankle injury. I think that David Johnson is going to come back and be David Johnson. That in itself is going to be a problem for a lot of those teams. I think they're going to surprise and they're going to sneak up and win some games that have no business winning. They're going to finish around 7-9 or 6-10.
I could believe it. Because I'm gonna give David Johnson just four games on his own.
I like the 49ers, and somebody gotta have below 6 wins. I can't have them all.
I think the 49ers are going to be at the bottom of that division.
Oh no, sir.
I do too. I do. I think
that team will go at least 8-8. That team will go at least 8-8.
Richard Sherman, Jerry McKinnon. If Jerry McKinnon can stay healthy, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Yes. See, my problem with 49ers still is gonna be, are you going to survive on the back of who they tight end? What's his tight end name?
George Kittle.
Yeah, who? George Kittle and the wide receiver they have.
Those receivers, they got Garcon, they got Goodwin.
They do. Oh, okay. They do have Garcon coming back. Oh, I forgot about that.
They got Jared McKinnon. They still got some young running backs behind them.
You're right.
I like the 49ers and Shanahan. He's going to be game playing this offense. Mike McGlinchey was a good pickup, and then the guy they got from the Giants, the center, Weston Richburn. So they improved offensive line, and they got Jonathan Cooper. So they could have as many as 4 new stars on the offensive line that wasn't as bad as the Cardinals.
You have a point.
Yeah. Time that it takes for that offensive line to gel, because it's not the 49ers have a cupcake schedule. Still don't see it happening. And heaven forbid.
Do you want Jimmy Garoppolo? You want Jimmy Garoppolo or Sam Bradford?
I want Jimmy.
You want Sam Bradford?
Because Josh Rosen's not going to be there week 1. They're going to be in the hole. Jesus. The Cardinals are going to be in the hole fucking with Sam Bradford. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I see you laugh. I see you trying to force feed me this narrative like you work for the White House. Sam Bradford. It's fine, man. It's fine. I already told you, man, the rookie of the year and the starting QB for the Cardinals already told y'all.
All right.
So Wilson.
We putting the over on. You saying week 3? You saying week 3? Josh Rosen gonna get in?
I say that week 3, Josh Rosen will be in because Sam Bradford is gonna get put on IR by Ndamukong Suh in that defensive line in week 2.
Milky Way if you start in week 3. Milky Way coming for you, king size, Halloween edition.
Better be
Halloween edition in September. I
They
hope
gonna
you enjoy this shit.
they gonna have a. I just don't understand why they still not taking a flyer
now,
with
before we
this.
before we make this bet official, what week did Sam Bradford go down in last year?
Week 1.
Week 1, dog. We thought, man. I was singing his praises after.
He was.
I said the shuffle pass is. Oh no, that was wrong team. Wrong team. No, Sam Bradford. That's when he was out there cooking boys, and we was like, dang.
He was nickel and diming on Monday night.
Yeah, man.
I was like,
It was against the Saints. That's what it was.
Dalvin Cook was looking like he was gonna be the rookie of the year.
man,
Don't make me cry.
Dalvin
Right
looked like,
Please don't make me cry right now.
hey, Dalvin. Hey, big kid.
Hey,
I'm gonna
Dalvin.
see you this
And I,
season.
and I made the playoffs in my keeper league without him. I just have to look at him on IR like, God damn it.
Bro, when I lost Dalvin, man, I cried, man. I saw the injury. I was just like, man, just throw the whole season away, dog.
Why, Cook?
That's
Why?
crazy. We all have Dalvin Cook in one league.
Yeah, we all had Dalvin somewhere.
Yeah, man, we had to because that was high on that dude. I said that dude about to have an explosion.
From the triple shot, Dalvin. Hey, big kid.
Hey,
You good? You all right? Make sure you stay on the green meats and the vegetables. Get that cardio in, baby. Let's keep popping.
And let's not forget that San Francisco has a pretty freaky front seven on their end. I mean, it's not LA like they.
Forget it. They're close to LA.
This is
my money. Honestly,
this is an 800 team.
Honestly, I actually like their defensive line better than LA's.
I'm kind of with you. I like the youth. They're a little bit longer. They're a lot longer than Sue and Darnold.
Them dudes are super duper underrated, man. DeForest Buckner and them boys are nasty.
And they can manipulate their hands. They know where they want to put their hands. I like my guys to be super nasty with their hands. So I'm with you 100%. That's why I like the 49ers, man. I think they can really upset some teams. I think they really can. I can see them at least starting out.
Hey, man, hold on. Pause. I just heard DeMarcus say, I like my guys super nasty with their hands, and I died.
Man, you gotta get you want a guy that's gonna slap some helmets when they
okay, Doc. I'm sorry, man. I knew what you was talking about, but when I heard it, I was like, whoa.
Let me use my Stephen A. voice real quick, DeMarcus. I need Griff to stay off the wing.
Look at me, I like hog mollies. I'm sorry, man.
I'm sorry.
I like.
Oh man, I had a good laugh, man. I needed that laugh. Whew.
That's just me. I think they can really upset. I can honestly see the 49ers getting off to about a 4-1 start easily, and I would not be surprised. After they lose to the Vikings, I think they can reel off 4 straight.
Ironically, I think that the ultimate fall is going to be the biggest point for optimism with a lot of these folks that are touting them as a dark horse, and I think that their offense is going to fail them long term. They can't afford to have any major injury at any of the skill position points.
You're right.
And heaven forbid if number 10 goes down, throw the whole season away.
Sign Dez, man. If they sign,
I mean, there's plenty of options out there that they could go and get. I mean, if they're really being honest and keeping it a buck, and you really want to compete with the Rams, you need to sign back Eric Reed.
Yeah, you're not lying.
Yeah, that'll be a good pickup.
Only thing that Frisco is missing from being maybe a top 8 defense is an effective back 4. Going through and putting somebody out there like an Eric Reed, who you're immensely familiar with in San Francisco, would send it right there through the stratosphere, and you would be a force to be reckoned with.
Don't it seem like the 49ers have never had like good back end? They had solid front sevens. I mean, when you look at like the Alden Smith, when they had Justin Smith,
Patrick Wilson,
Patrick Willis, Navarre, they had some stacked front sevens, but they back end just never been. I think
they haven't had a solid back end since the mid '90s.
Richard Sherman is probably the best defensive back they had in the last 10 years.
I'm just ready to see Marcus Goodwin and see what he does.
Goodwin's they gave him big money, so hey, they're committed to him financially. Like I said,
he was phenomenal the last the last 4 or 5 games of the season.
He really put on. And I'm just glad that the thing I like about the 49ers, they can get all their dirt done on the road early.
True. What'd you say, Wilson?
My bad.
I was saying that with Goodwin, the only thing that really makes me hesitate is the fact that, A, people are going to be looking out for him a little bit more this go round. And then on top of that, his size is going to be a question.
Yeah, I'm with
You
you.
got away
Yeah.
with it last year because most folks weren't really checking for the 49ers, period. So, I mean, you can go through, get it how you live. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing.
Now I will. I
And
will
that's
say
no
when you
he
look at
went
his
out there and he
schedule,
got that thing.
he does play a lot of physical corners. He does play a lot of physical.
Yes, that's the thing. They're not going to try to end up on nobody's ESPN highlight film, so he's gonna get a little bit
Yeah.
more work this year than he got last year.
But then he gonna have. But then you got to remember that he not gonna get the number one coverage. Pierre Garcon's still
Oh,
gonna.
no, not at all, not at all, not at all. I know he's not a number one in his offense, but that being said, he's their number one vertical threat, and he will be played much in that offense. And if
Yeah,
that isn't effective, it'll be a down effect.
I wish they would go and get like. I wish they would go get Dez and alleviate some
It
pressure off
can't
the
hurt
boys.
him. $3 million deal. Roll the dice. You ain't got nothing to lose.
And who else you got to pay? You gave Jimmy all that money. I know you got some more money left. They ain't
Yeah,
paid
some money out there.
They ain't paid no. Richard Sherman only owed what, $7 million guaranteed.
7.
Then McKinney got what, $30 million, which don't seem like much. 4 years, $30 million. Come on, that's nothing, man. They got money to spend. Go sign Dez. They bullshitting. They bullshitting. I think they don't play the Cowboys, so I guess that's why Dez don't really care. I'm sure he won't play the Cowboys wherever he goes. So
yeah. Oh well.
And what y'all think about James getting suspended? 3-game suspension for James Winston.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that I was supposed to? Let me say it again. That was some stupid shit. I was talking about Dez at first, but now I'm talking about that too. Yeah. It's both the same thing. Stupid shit.
What did he get suspended for?
They say it's
the fact that you
personal
conduct.
What Sam you gotta say was, I'm sorry.
Somebody had brought up an offense in which I believe he grew up an Uber driver and he failed to report it to the league in a timely fashion. So that violated the personal conduct policy for the NFL. And although there was nothing to my knowledge that came out of it as far as him being prosecuted or anything like that. Well, dumbass not reporting. Dumbass just got 3 games taken off the shelf.
Man, sometimes I just be thinking about these incidents, and I'll just be like, yo, cheating and wrongdoing should be at an all-time low nowadays because you can get exposed in so many ways nowadays, from screenshots to everybody record. Go.
Hey, Grip. At the very beginning of this podcast, you spoke gold, sir, when you said that common sense isn't common.
At all. Because I just saw my boy Fab just get busted for hopping in the DM. I said, Fab, what are you doing?
I'm gonna tell you right now, if I'm a multi-millionaire, if I'm raking in the kind of checks that these folks are, y'all gonna laugh at me because I'm literally not going to do anything. I'm gonna be like Eddie Murphy on Coming to America. The royal penis is clean. Just you know what? Since it's Thursday, let me go ahead and wipe myself today.
Exactly.
I'm not you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not driving anywhere. I'm gonna have a fly ride, but somebody's going to be driving me in it. I'm gonna sit back in the back of that Maybach and get chauffeured. Because if I get 3 sheets to the wind and throw up all over myself, guess what? I'm not getting popped by the cops. You know what I'm saying? If you're stupid enough to go out, you doing that kind of dirt and stuff like that, yo, man, you've had the greatest role model, arguably, of this generation on how to kick it and have your cake and eat it too. And that would be with El Capitan, one Derek Jeter, who had a nice metal box right outside of his house that any and all persons coming into the establishment put all electronic devices in. And his house was stricter than Vegas rules. Whatever happened behind his door, stayed behind his door. That's why for the Hall of Fame list of chicks that he's hit on his resume, you've never heard any scandal about Derek Jeter.
Oh, you said Derek Jeter. Oh, the one with J-Lo right now?
And you can start with Jessica Alba and Mariah Carey and work your way all across his hit list. He ain't never had no problem.
That nigga did date Jessica Alba. What?
The biracial
and body count of anybody in generation. Anybody. All shapes, all colors, all levels of status and celebrity, from IG models to full-on porn stars and all points in between. He's tagging the bag them all.
That man was batting 100 for 100.
And also the greatest cameo on other guys.
The shot. You shot Derek Jeter.
You did a shot, A-Rock.
I told him to put his hands down. I told him to put his hands down.
No, that was my shit, bro.
He got the drop on me.
That was still ain't for the bushes. Yeah.
Oh man, when they jumped, dog, I cried in that movie when they jumped. I said, no, they didn't just die. Oh, and on the film,
My was looking hard as hell for them bushes too.
my favorite part was when they were
Oh,
in the funeral, having a rest. Hey, you guys, you keep it down in here.
they on there fighting.
They was over there wrestling on the floor. I said, "This is too much, man."
Oh man, that movie is hilarious, bro. I gotta watch that soon.
Hey, that's one of those movies. It's like one of
That's a classic, dude.
those like one of those movies that you go back, you say, "Damn, this is way funnier than I thought it
Yes,
was."
yes. Other guys is hilarious, bro. They cut that. There goes my heroes.
Yeah, you gotta embrace the stupidness of it, man. It's awesome.
For me, insanely polarizing comics that people either love or hate, I have always loved. One is Jim Carrey, the other is Will Ferrell, and I own
Yes,
everything any of them have done, arguably in their entire film careers.
man.
No
So, can I?
better moment for me is watching Will Ferrell reminisce about his college years as Gator. That is the greatest
Oh,
shit.
that was awesome.
Yeah.
Gator wants to walk around money. Gator wants
Him
some new
so
shoes.
We're going streaking.
Gators better be wearing those jimmies. Oh my god.
I'm,
That movie's
I'm
hilarious.
glad you said Jim Carrey because
Shit.
I listen to Aaron Foster's podcast, and he Aaron Foster has one of the great podcasts out there because it's very informative, and he does deep dives into whoever his guest is, from Jamel Hill to Bomani Jones. He had Charlemagne on there, Joe Budden. He had this guy, this Olympian, this activist. He just has a whole bunch of Snoop. He has a whole bunch of guests there, Reggie Bush. And the thing is, at the end of each one of his interviews, he always asks his guests to say to the camera and persuade Jim Carrey to come on so he can interview Jim Carrey, because he thinks Jim Carrey is one of the most interesting people that he's never talked to. And if you ever see the Jim Carrey documentary on Netflix when he was playing the dude on Man in the Moon, Jim Carrey might be the most interesting dude. The way his mind works,
He's a goat. He's a goat.
I just never seen somebody like that. You never see actors like that. Him,
Yeah.
Sean Penn, Brad Pitt. They have quality talent, but then they have this other side to them that the media doesn't talk about enough. And I think that the media should talk about what Jim Carrey does for black people. I'm not trying to say it should be glorified
Right.
or something that every white person should be doing, but just the fact that they're so selfish, they have so much selfishness, is an attribute that you don't find in a lot of actors, and it seems so genuine when they do it. And I think that's something that is great. And Jim Carrey would be an awesome interview for Aaron Foster's podcast. His last one he did is with what's his name, Deion Sanders. Amazing.
Yeah. And another thing about Jim Carrey, man, that I think people sometimes forget, man, he still respects his upbringing, for lack of a better term, for the longest time you would have thought his name wasn't Jim Carrey, you'd have thought his name was Jim Wayans.
Mm-hmm. That's
Coming
true.
up to that and living color cast and stuff like that. If you've noticed over the years, they've all pretty much stuck together with each other and helped contribute. When Tommy Davidson was going through his drug phase and trying to get rehab and get his life back together, first shot he got back at getting a check, Ace Ventura 2. It wasn't by accident. He told Tommy, hey, come on, man. I see that you're trying to get back on your feet and stuff like that. I got this character I need you to play in this movie with me. Ended up being arguably the funniest scene in the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
You go through and he's always championed not only stuff for us people of color, but he's always been a big advocate for human rights. You can go on YouTube his commencement speech that he gave to a bunch of kids graduating from high school one year. Phenomenal speech. The things that he's speaking out now about human trafficking and the things that went on with these laws about separating kids and stuff like that. Phenomenal. For me, one of the things that made my love intensify for Jim Carrey is when I saw the movie The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind,
That's a good
which
movie.
is one of the best independent films that I have ever seen, I saw a side of Jim Carrey that, while splashed with quote-unquote usual Jim Carrey, exposed me to a side of Jim Carrey that made me understand that he had so much range and so much depth to himself, not only as an actor, but as a person, emotionally investing him even more. Kind of like when you got a chance to see late in Robin Williams' career when he stopped playing funny characters and he started playing like serial killers and stuff like that. It's like, fuck, Robin Williams can do that shit and like did it well. You know what I'm saying? It's that versatility, that range, that being able to go from one end of the spectrum to the other that like truly made him graduate from just being the guy that makes funny movies to being Jim Carrey the actor. And it actually brought a little bit more depth and edge to some of the more comical roles that he ended up playing after that. But he's an amazing guy, man. He's an amazing talent, and there's a lot of similarities between him and Will Ferrell, which made me gravitate towards Will Ferrell too, who has a long resume that people may or may not be familiar with because a lot of people didn't remember that he was in the first set of Austin Powers movies
Oh, so
that
awesome.
came out. A lot of people don't remember that until they go back and they look. It's like, damn, he is in that fucking movie.
He was the dude working for he was kind of like I guess the hitman of the bad crew.
Yes, he had the fez on. Yeah, he had two memorable death and injury scenes. In one, he got dropped into the little fire pit.
Yeah. And then when they bit his arm,
off that fucking cliff and broke his legs.
I think I'm all right.
Greatest description ever because I had just finished doing first aid CPR certification. That fucker was talking about, oh my God, I think it's a compound break because the wound is beginning to smell a little like almonds, which is not good. I was like, that's right. It's not good if it smells like almonds. It's terrible.
Oh man, Will Ferrell is funny, man.
He's gone on to do serious roles. Yeah, he's done serious roles as well. He's done his comedic thing and stuff like that. And he gives you a different version of that comedy because he can pull off the comedy, or like I like to call it, the comedy with a straight face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
when
man,
he's doing those Gator moments or he's doing those stepbrother moments and stuff like that. It's just classic, man. And again, it's one of those things. You have people that either love him or you have people that hate him. There's nobody that straddles the fence when it comes to those two guys. You either like them or you don't.
True.
What to watch? Watch The House. The House, starring Will Ferrell. That movie's hilarious.
Fucking funny.
Huh?
Oh my God. I just saw it last month, man. Bro, I completely slept on that movie until I saw that it was out on the couch. I was like, yeah, I forgot.
What movie?
Let me see what this is. Man, The House.
I didn't hear you, Wilson. What movie did you say?
That movie.
Talking about The House.
Oh yeah, The House. Yeah, man, that movie's awesome. It's way funnier than I thought it was going to be.
Hilarious. I completely slept on it. I didn't even pay attention to it when it was in the theater. It just happened to be on cable, and I was like, you know what? Let me check this out. Man, that movie is funny as hell.
I had watched it back in December. I don't know if I even said anything about it. But yeah, I watched it back in December. That movie's hilarious. Very underrated comedy.
What y'all been catching on the tube lately?
The Tube, it's the same old tune over here, man. It's all about that Westworld. Fuck everything else.
Now hear this. Now hear this.
Oh, Luke Cage come out tomorrow.
Not a recording. In a few hours, Luke Cage season 2 will premiere on Netflix. Nothing else matters. That is all.
Yeah, facts.
End of story, huh?
Oh, and they got my girl. Well, it's not my girl. It ain't my girl, but it's the girl I like. That's on the game. She plays on the game. She was Derwin's baby mama. I want to say.
Dark skin chick?
Yeah, the dark skin chick. Yeah, she gonna play on there.
Okay. I'm waiting. I'm losing sleep over that tonight.
Oh, you gonna be up all night on that, huh?
Oh,
you know how I deal when it comes to my Marvel shows on Netflix. I binge them hoes as soon as they upload.
I gotta go to work tomorrow, so I gotta go to bed. I can't watch it.
Wrong with that, brother. You get it how you live. You get it how you live, but I know you're gonna make it.
Marcus finally got him a job.
You know what I'm saying? I know somebody gonna get that stiff arm sometime this weekend. I'll be like, wait, I'm on episode 2. Give me a minute.
That means
yes, sir. Poops
to the face. To the face.
You see Luke Cage is on. Come on now. Let's watch this.
Oh, did you watch any World Cup before we get out of here?
What? Hell yes. I'm not depressed and don't want to talk about it because the world's greatest player is on the brink of elimination right now. I haven't won a game in group for the first time since 2002. It's disgusting. That would be one Leo Messi in Argentina. Huge disappointment, but
blown out again.
The game plan. Oh man, Croatia smoked them. Croatia smoked them going away. It's been funny, the basic narrative for a lot of people that haven't paid attention. But if you're into soccer and stuff like that, you can feel where I'm going with it. Been surprising in the first round of group play because a lot of the traditional powers have actually struggled in their first couple of games. It really hasn't been that usual part for the course type feel to it. Outstanding showings by newer teams, younger teams, and stuff like that. Shout outs to Nigeria, who actually I believe has the youngest team in the World Cup with an average age that's like just over 21 or 22 years old. Their goalie is 19 years old. In addition to having the best uniforms out there. But they're out there fighting hard, doing their thing. But they're taking their lumps because they're young, but they'll be there for a while. With that young core like that, they'll probably play in 2 or 3 World Cups together and will be a force to be reckoned with in years to come. The old man of soccer, the old superstar, the Tom Brady of the World Cup right now, sweet mother of everything. I hate you as a rival to my man Messi, but I have so much respect for your game. Ronaldo is phenomenal, man. He defies description, man. He's come out of the gate smoking 4 goals already in 2 games of group play. He's disgusting. He is disgusting. Single-handedly led his team from the brink of a loss with a hat trick, game 1 to tie 3 against Spain. He's been unbelievable. There's been no answer for him so far in the World Cup. It's been very fun this first round. It'll be interesting to see how it goes when we get to the knockout phase and as you advance. But the World Cup has lived up to its billing this year. It's been all right.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. And as always, y'all can get melanated and illuminated with your boys.
Melanated,
Backslash
illuminated.
Grits.
Oh, wait, before we go, fellas,
What you got,
since
man?
it's draft night and we talked about this sleeper team earlier this season, I just want to let you guys know that villain from Duke is a member of the Utah Jazz.
Yes, I seen that. I got
You put
disgusted.
Nico and Grayson Allen and Donovan Mitchell together on the court.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be very interesting.
I'm going to cry salty tears. That's disgusting.
That is scrappy. That is scrappy at its finest. Plus, Gobert on the
And shout out to the Celtics.
And Gobert down low.
man.
Shout out to the Celtics who got that good gamble and stayed pat at
Robert
their
Williams.
spot at 27 and still got Robert Williams from A&M.
That's a good pick.
Man. It was a lot of good picks made. There was a lot of good picks made in this draft.
And if he's any good, if he's anything like he was in college, it's gonna be nice to see how he pairs with Al Horford and to see how they're gonna work that and see who's gonna play center.
He worked out of Al Horford's hands. He's gonna be that banger. He's gonna be that hustle guy. So
It's gonna be nice.
Working. Yes, that's going to be ugly.
Scary. The amount of talent that a lot of these teams are getting.
Yeah, I know, man. They just continue to load.
And this draft is going to get somebody a championship.
Yeah.
Suns.
Boston, I see you.
Phoenix Suns, man, be on the lookout. Hey, y'all,
Man,
for real.
Hey, it's gonna be interesting to see. I wonder if they're gonna buy out Tyson Chandler. I wonder where Tyson Chandler's gonna go. It's gonna be interesting to see where Tyson Chandler.
I don't know why they keep paying. They should have bought him out last year.
But that's gonna be interesting because I still think Tyson Chandler has enough in the gas tank that he's gonna be a good pick and roll. So if he goes to like the Rockets, the Warriors, yeah, you know he's gonna go to the Warriors. Bye Zaza.
Man, I don't want to have to deal with JaVale McGee and Tyson.
Tyson is gonna be nice. Just say even if the Warriors don't get him. Just say that if he goes to, he'll be nice with any team. Honestly, he's just gonna be a nice key piece.
Yeah, he don't got to do much.
Griff, no Dwight Howard to the Warriors. No.
Oh yeah, man. I still like Dwight. I mean, I don't like Dwight Howard, but like I think I said it on the podcast a few times. Dwight Howard had a great season for his standards last year, and on top of that, I just feel like he's mentally. I think I'm getting out of depression and stuff like that. I've seen a person who's hit rock bottom and finally realized like, yo, something has to change. And listening to Dwight Howard, he sounds genuine when he's on the Jump or NBA radio. And he's talking about the pains of just like forcing himself to play when he wasn't healthy and him talking about how nothing went how he expected when he left Orlando and how if he could go back, he wouldn't change anything because it made him mentally in the space that he is right now. And I have to say, I think that him being bought out, if he were to go on some type of team that could use a center help, I think Dwight Howard could be an asset more than detrimental to your team. But hey, but then again, he could have just said a whole bunch of bullshit.
A locked in Dwight Howard,
and that's the thing that gets me, Griff, man. I mean, I agree with everything that you're saying if it's the case, but the part that really bothers me the most about this entire situation, coming off of a bounce back, arguably kind of could have gotten a comeback player of the year nod type of season for Dwight Howard, and the only thing I hear out of Charlotte is how everybody in the locker room hates his guts.
Really? I mean, see, I heard Batum liked him.
That's the reports that I got coming out this morning when they were talking about trading him and sending him out. The reason why was that the players in the locker room said they're tired of dealing with him. They're tired of his act. And that's the part that I found disappointing because, like you, I listened to a lot of the interviews that he has done during the season. So I was like, oh, shit, he sounds like a grown-up now. I mean, it's good. It's about time. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it kind of lends some validity to it because, again, you saw Dwight have a great year. And Charlotte, of all teams, like Charlotte's just too good to keep talent. Charlotte is willing to get rid of him. It was just something fishy about that. But
yeah,
again, we're gonna hope Dwight figures it out and finds a way to get the last few years that he's got left back on track because like the last 7 years for him has been pretty much like a wash, man. Like it's time.
Yeah, it's been super inconsistent.
He had one good season with the Rockets, if you really want to be honest. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad because we all looked and been like, dude, you have all the fucking talent in the world, and you're existing at a time that other players like the Shaqs or the David Robinsons or the Akeem Olajuwons would kill for because you were literally the only center in the damn league.
There is a team I would like to see Dwight Howard go to, but I don't know how it's gonna work. But if anybody can get something out of Dwight Howard, my boy Brad, that dude right there can work some magic.
You know, I think that's one of the personalities that might be able to rein him and keep him focused if he's willing to be focused.
Exactly.
Make no mistakes about it. Brad might be willing to take on the challenge. I'm telling you right now, that freckle-faced dude in that front office, Mr. Ainge, that's a short-ass leash. His ass is out of there. First thing smoking, gone.
Get your old ass out of here.
Yeah.
You and your 9 kids and your 10 baby mamas.
Yeah, they don't play that shit, man. Not in
Boston.
Not in Boston.
We don't even really like colored players. I mean, we don't even like Dwight Howard like that.
You know they don't like them niggas there. That's why they like Jason Tatum.
Take that shit to South Beach. He's light skinned. He's light. He's outstanding.
Jaylen Brown. Everybody wants to give up Jaylen Brown in the trade now.
Because he's black. That's why. Get rid of him.
Hey, I don't like Brown. I don't like that.
Brown.
A Brown and he is brown. Get rid of him.
Get him out of here.
Too many niggers on this team.
Trade for Jimmy Fredette. Where's Jimmy?
Contract. Get him. I don't like him. There's no Ingles still on the market. Trade him for Ingles.
They gonna mess around and trade Jaylen Brown for Chandler Parsons. We need another white one.
Man, yeah, we gonna start him. We'll start him and Hayward.
And he's gonna start. He's gonna start 65 games.
Exactly.
He's gonna be on the Celtics magazine with the back-to-back pose.
What?
Oh, they gonna be modeling. They gonna be modeling, dog. You know, dog. That's gonna be.
Did we become best friends? Yep.
That's gonna be. That would be the funniest thing ever.
Yep.
Looking like the Double Dragons. Look at
them niggas gonna be looking like straight models. I can see it now with the arms crossed and everything. Man, oh Lord, they gonna have a photo spread.
All right, that's it.
Mikhail and Bird never had it this sex.
That's it, man.
Them two ugly ass niggas.
I'm done with y'all. I can't do this no more.
We the hottest things to come out of this thing. There's new kids on the block. Y'all better feel us.
Justin Timberlake, who?
They don't recognize them in Boston. They don't recognize.
They gonna re-sign Kelly Olynyk. He gonna be the Bill Walton of the team.
Oh no! You know who they gonna put on there? Tom Brady gonna be in the back, dog. Oh, it's gonna be the white. It's gonna be the whitest thing.
Man.
And then Julian Edelman, he gonna fly.
on the bottom of that cover, it's gonna say, I don't know what the hell Trump talking about, bitch.
I'm crying. Oh, I'm crying, man. Oh,
man,
Jesus, that was funny.
oh my God, my head hurt now. Come on.
Oh, I'm tired, man.
It's been a great run with you, gentlemen. After they shut us down,
They gonna shut us all the way down.
They cutting us off.
we were really good. Y'all got that Boston shit. We're gonna have to let y'all go. Y'all can't do this shit no more.
Oh man, I'm dying, man. That was too funny.
We run our own shit. Y'all can't shut us down. Only Jay-Z can shut us down. God damn it. That's
Melanated and illuminated.
Still on time.
Better get in with the big before we go ape shit.
Man.
Get it back.
Man, for sure. Like I say, catch us on iTunes, catch us on SoundCloud, the Fish and Grits page on Facebook for the culture. Like, listen, and share, enjoy it, share it, everything. We here for y'all. You know you want to. But man, I can't with y'all. I'm still thinking about this.
I'm still thinking about this cover.
I'm still thinking. But
put a jar of mayonnaise on that cover. Elman.
That's gonna be the new sponsor. They're gonna have the mayo packages around
mayo and milk.
Man,
got milk. No, they gonna bring the got milk back.
Oh my God.
Bread for the week. Let's get it.
Oh shoot!
I'm so distracted.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead, man.
But man,
everybody wearing. Everybody in Hollister. Nothing else.
H&M. They're gonna be in
Hollister.
Oh man, I'm dead.
Y'all better have on them Vans. Berries. Nothing else. I better not see an Air Force One, a Jordan. Nothing.
Get these kids. Get
these K-Swiss on, dog. Oh man.
This has been Fish and Grits, and you guys have just been served.
Oh man, that was funny. What a great show.
Milk, mayo, and Wonder Bread for the win, bitches.
Wonder Bread.
We all.
Oh man.